Something was breathing inside my closet, and the worst part was, it wasn't trying to hide. My loft apartment felt safe. It was my sanctuary where I painted and slept. The closet was just a cheap, basic utility space, 3 feet deep, filled with clothes. Everything felt normal, domestic, pure routine, pure safety. I heard it first over the music. A distinct, labored inhale. I paused the jazz. And there it was again. Exhale. I put my ear to the door. The sound was too rich. It had the acoustic depth of a large, empty hall, not the muffled sound of a tiny wooden box. It was breathing from a space that couldn't possibly exist inside my 3-foot closet. The breathing continued, slow and deep. Then came the smell. A heavy, earthy odor, like wet soil and decay, began seeping out from under the door. The smell of something that belonged underground. The breathing wasn't just noise, it was the expulsion of something rotten. I grabbed a measuring tape. I measured the exterior width, 36 inches. I slid the tape under the door. It stopped briefly, hitting the back wall at 33 inches. But as I kept pushing, the tape measure kept feeding past 40, past 60, past 70 inches. I pulled it out when I hit 7 feet of tape, swallowed by a space I knew was only 3 feet deep. The breathing grew louder. I backed away. The breathing paused. I heard a low, heavy thud from inside, followed by the sound of clothing scraping against wood. It was shuffling. Then I saw it. The entire wooden doorframe subtly bulged inward for a split second, only to snap back. Whatever was breathing inside was shifting its weight, heavy and massive, pressing against the structure. I stared at the brass doorknob. As the heavy breathing inside reached its crescendo, the doorknob slowly began to turn inward, not outward to open, but grinding inward toward the closet, crushing the wood behind it. It wasn't trying to escape, it was trying to unmake the barrier. When the breathing stopped, the knob snapped back to its original position with a violent clack. I remembered something simple. Earlier that day, I was reaching into the closet for a sweater. Now, the memory changes. When I opened the door, for the briefest second, the light didn't hit my clothes. Instead, I saw a massive curved wall of damp black stone stretching infinitely into the darkness, with a single colossal breath echoing out. I slammed the door shut. I had opened my tiny closet door and briefly looked into an entire underground chamber. I grabbed my phone and backed away. The breathing returned, impossibly loud, shaking the floor. The closet door began to creak and splinter. I saw a tiny crack form at the center. And as that crack formed, as the air rushed out with a sound like a great lung collapsing, I saw one thing: a single, massive strand of coarse, damp black hair, thick as a rope, slide through the crack and then rapidly retract. The door held. The breathing stopped. The truth was, the closet was a singular point of spatial compression. The anomaly was breathing the air from a vast, unseen underground complex, and my small closet was the pinhole access point. The reason the breathing sounded huge, because the space it was coming from was huge. I sealed the door with furniture and called the police. They told me to board it up. I agreed. Just as the officer turned to leave, I noticed the gold key pendant around my neck. It felt heavy. The simple gold key wasn't mine. It was now rusted, caked in damp black soil, and had a single thick black strand of hair twisted around its shank. It hadn't come out of the closet. It had been there the whole time.